and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm on this webinar with my colleagues, Sheila Gold and Ann Conlon, who's behind the scenes running the slides. And I'm actually going to, I'm going to share my screen for a minute, just as we're getting going, because I want to show you, we just have like hot off the presses, I guess, maybe that's like an old fashioned way of saying it, but we're really excited because we have photos from our commencement this past Saturday. And so these are this was our first group of public administration students graduating. You know, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. It was really exciting. It was wonderful to have a normal commencement where we could all be together in person. And the photos, I think, just really sum up a lot about the School of Professional Advancement. So this is our bachelor's degree and master's degree graduates all together. And, you know, the people walking across the stage and lots of celebration. I'm actually going to go down. Hugs. People were hugging. This is Mia Blom, our student speaker. And then I'm just going to go down to the bottom. And then we finish it up with a second line from the auditorium where we are, sort of across the way to a reception. And so it was just really nice. So Anne, you can go ahead and share your screen again with the slides. I wanted to ask, just to get started, if you could put your name and where you're calling in from and the program that you think you're interested in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. That would be really helpful just to give us a sense of who's here. And then if you're able to turn your video on, that's great, but we completely understand if you can't after a long day. So I'm just going to say a little bit about the School of Professional Advancement, or SoPA as we call it, to begin things, and then hand the presentation off to my colleague Sheila. So Tulane has been educating working adults and offering applied programs that are relevant to the workplace for a very long time. One of the predecessor schools to SoPA was actually the third school started at Tulane. It was originally founded as a medical college, and then the law school was established, and then SoPA's predecessor school was the third school. And so we have we are recording, and we're going to be sending the recording out to you tomorrow in an email. But we have a long history of, again, educating working adults and offering applied programs that are relevant to the workplace. And we do that in a 21st century fashion, which means that a lot of what we do is online, and that we find ways to create community and to offer a small scale, intimate education with small class sizes and lots of access to your faculty in a 21st century way. Our students, as you saw from the slides or from the photos, are incredibly diverse in every respect, including age-wise, racially, etc. And we create a really special community at Tulane, and we're so glad that you want to learn more about it. Before I hand things over to, oh, awesome, Brooklyn's in the house. That's so exciting. All right, nice to meet you, Felicia. One of the things I was going to say is that our students are split between the Gulf Coast and the rest of the United States. And that is yet another way in which we have a lot of diversity in our student body and in our faculty. And so we bring a New Orleans angle to the education that we offer. which has a lot of implications. It means many things, including that we like to have fun. But we also have perspectives from people who come from a lot of different places. And again, with the, part of the Tulane community and with the Tulane name behind it. So it's really nice to meet all of you. And with that, I'm going to hand things over to Sheila for the rest of the slides. Again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Suri. So welcome, everybody. We are always appreciative when folks take some time at the end of their day to learn about our programs. We love our programs. Obviously, we love our school. We think our students love our school. You could see that kind of bursting out from the graduation pictures. So it's fun for us to sort of share with you all what we think makes Tulane SoPA unique. So a couple of things that we're going to cover in this webinar is we're going to talk about how we structure our online curriculum. All of our master's degrees are online courses, but we've been in the online space since 2018, a very long time. We were one of the first schools, and we have faculty that are very good at creating online curriculum. So we'll talk a little bit about that and what makes our programs unique. We'll talk a little bit about our specific programs and our faculty. This is, however, a very general webinar about all of our graduate programs. We do have program-specific webinars. So many of you dropped in the chat that you're interested in specific programs. We have a webinar for each one of our programs, so you can get invited to those as well. You'll have an opportunity to meet the actual program directors and some of the faculty and learn a little bit more in depth about specific programs. So I would encourage you to attend those webinars as well. We're going to talk a little bit about student support. I think our student support is a differentiator between our school and other schools. Our students get a lot of student support, a lot of attention, and they have incredible access to faculty and advisors. And so what that means is that you can create strong relationships with faculty. And also, if you ever need support sort of over and above the classroom, maybe you're being challenged by a class and you need a little extra help, or maybe you're having a significant life change, like you're moving or having a baby, and you need to take off a semester, whatever it may be, you'll find that we are structured to work with our students, support them, and not let any of those life changes stop you from reaching your graduation goal. We'll talk a little bit about our affordability and our flexibility in terms of how we work with working adults and older students. And then, of course, all of this is supported by the Tulane name. We're a top 40 university. We're nationally and internationally recognized. And when you show up for a job interview with a Tulane degree, generally employers understand that you're well qualified for the job in which you're interviewing. So next, please. So a little bit about online learning at SoPA. So like I said, we've been in the online space since 2018, which is a relatively long time. Most folks became familiar with online learning during the pandemic because all education had to go online. At SoPA, we actually didn't even have to make that much of a transition because all of our master's degrees were already online. But what's different between our online education and other schools is that we intentionally create our curriculum to be engaging and create opportunities for students to meet each other, meet their faculty, interact with each other, interact with the curriculum. You're not just sitting around like clicking through a PowerPoint. Some schools do that, but we intentionally create our curriculum to have discussion boards, collaborative work with other students. So for some of our programs, we have simulations that they'll do online. We do small group work, and then we also have monthly class meetings. where you actually have to log in at a specific time and you have a classroom experience with other classmates and your professor. So you have guest speakers, you have all sorts of other opportunities to engage with the curriculum. So our students aren't just sort of passively sitting in their pajamas, clicking through a PowerPoint and answering questions. You are in school very much in the same way that you have been traditionally within a building. We really should probably call it remote learning as opposed to online learning. The experience is incredibly high level and engaging. You just don't have to physically drive to a building and be there. So our students find that they very much enjoy our classes and are challenged by them. We also do offer prospective students the opportunity to sit in on classes. So if you're ever interested in just sort of trying out a class, you'll be getting some emails about classes that you can sit in on during the summer and the fall. And you really should take an opportunity to do that, just so that you can get a sense of the academic experience at SoPA. So some data around online learning, just because we're an educational institution, we love data. We have educated over 14,000 students in over 32,000 hours of online coursework. That's a lot of students and a lot of coursework, which is why we know that we're very good at this. We've gotten a lot of feedback and we've had a lot of practice. Another thing that we do is that we train our faculty to teach in the online space. So one of the reasons that people heard during the pandemic, oh, I hate online school, is because teachers didn't know how to teach it online either. Our faculty is actually trained in instructional design and in giving instruction through the online platform. Several of our faculty and programs have actually won awards in that space. So you will feel a difference, I promise you. Just a little bit about our 8 master's degree, 19 graduate certificates and 4 postbaccalaureate certificates have all been designed in the online space. And that's over 320 courses that we've developed to be taught this way. So
hi, everyone. It looks like Sheila froze. I know we're having some rain here in New Orleans. So I'll just continue where Sheila left off in the meantime while she's trying to reconnect. So what really a huge part of SoPA that really sets us apart is our faculty. Our faculty are experienced in the fields in which they teach. So they're practitioners. So really you're going to get direct experience and knowledge from your faculty. For example, we have Ashley Hand, who teaches in our Master of Public Administration program, who's the Director of Strategic Communications in Kansas City. Derek Bowes, Chief Administrative Officer of the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority. And he teaches in our Homeland Security Studies Masters in Emergency Management. Tyra Mitchell teaches in our kinesiology programs, Health and Wellness and Sports Studies. And she is a former Chief Physical Therapist for Ochsner Health System. And Ralph Russo, who is the Program Director for our Information Technology and Cybersecurity programs, he was a former commanding officer for the NYPD. So we are very proud of our faculty, and our students love learning from them. So, and hi, Sheila.
I am so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Such is the world of high tech. It just like cut out. So I'm not quite sure, but look, Anne, thank you for having my back. And I may need you to jump in again if it happens again.
All right.
All right.
Well, hand it off to you.
So Anne mentioned our faculty are practitioners in the field. So that's a differentiator also for our school, is that you learn from the people who are actually doing it. And that makes all the difference. I mean, you all have been in school and you have this, you sort of learn about things and you're like, what would that what will that really be like when I'm actually in front of a client or when I'm actually in the workspace? You can ask those questions to your professors because they're actually doing it, and they give you current workforce experience in the classroom. So you're not learning about what cybersecurity was 10 years ago when it actually didn't exist. You're learning about current best practices right now in all of these fields. So the master's degrees that we offer at the School of Professional Advancement are cybersecurity, emergency management, health and wellness management, homeland security, IT management, liberal arts, and liberal arts is a very broad-based master's degree. It's 10 courses that you can basically take anything that is within liberal arts. So it's a little bit of a create your own major. Master's of Public Administration, which is nonprofit and profit and public policy focused, security management, and sports studies. So I'm not going to read all of these graduate certificates, but we do offer multiple graduate certificates. Graduate certificates are interesting to a lot of students because they are a way that you can go back and get graduate work without pursuing an entire degree. So they're generally about 5 classes, and they give you 4 to 5 classes, and they give you a very specific expertise in a certain area, like corporate wellness, for example, or nonprofit in strategic philanthropy management. So you could do sort of a deep dive in just about 4 or 5 courses, get a certificate. But what's interesting about our certificates is that they're stackable into the master's degree. So you could come and get a certificate, add it to your resume, and perhaps that's enough for you to get either a promotion or take the next step in your career. Or if you want to pursue the rest of a master's degree, you can stack the certificate into the master's degree. So one certificate is about 1/3 of a master's degree. So you're about 1/3 of the way through once you finish your certificate. So many people will start with a certificate and then realize this is kind of great. I'm further along than I thought, and continue through for their entire master's. But it's a way to have some flexibility in that regard. All right, so we have post-baccalaureate certificates. These are also certificates, but they do require that you have a bachelor's degree, but they are all actually undergraduate coursework. So it's a little bit somewhere in the middle of graduate work and just right after undergraduate work. Our post-baccalaureate certificates are in early childhood and secondary ed, graphic design, health and wellness, homeland security, paralegal studies. Our paralegal studies program is ABA, American Bar Association approved. So if there's anybody here who's interested in going to law school or even just being a paralegal, this is one of the only programs in the country that's ABA approved, K through 12 special ed, and then teaching English learners. So we offer what's called credit for prior learning, because most of our students who attend SoPA have some work experience and have lived a little bit of life and are coming back to school to either finish a degree or get a graduate degree. Oftentimes they come to us with some sort of expertise in a certain area that they've been working in. If you're pursuing a master's degree and there's a course that you have actually been working in for many years, and you're like, I don't really need to take this course, I could probably teach this course, I've been doing it so long, there is the opportunity for you to demonstrate your knowledge to your academic advisor and your program director, and you can get credit for that course based on your life and work experience. So that's an opportunity that students like to take advantage of. Graduate students can receive up to 6 credits, which is the equivalent of 2 courses towards their master's degree. So not only is that a way to save time towards graduation, but also obviously tuition money, and everybody wants to save time and money. So I would tell you to take advantage of that if it applies to you. So I talked a little bit about our student support. I think at SoPA, a differentiator for us is how much support is available to students. Look, there are some students that come in, they take their classes and they go and they feel like, I don't really need to meet with my advisor very much. There are other students that like to check in. They like to check in, they like to get support. Maybe there's a class that's challenging and they need a little extra support. Maybe they just like to know that somebody is going through the program with them and cheering them on. We offer that to our students. Every student gets two advisors. You get an academic advisor and you get a faculty advisor. The program director is your faculty advisor, and your academic advisor is a member of our advising team, and they are incredibly accessible. They, every single one of them has a link that's available to their students, and you can literally book an appointment every day if you want to meet with them. They're that available to students, and they can help you choose courses. They can help you move courses around. They can help you if there's a semester where you're going to be traveling, or if you have life or work commitments and you need to take a semester off, they can help you do that. And then they can help you register for the next semester. We also have our own dedicated career advisor. She works just with our students. She can help you with job interviews, do your LinkedIn page, help you with your resume, help you practice for a job interview. And almost all of our program directors have their own job boards that they run, which means, like I said, they're all practitioners in the fields in which they teach. So their professional networks tend to reach out to them and say, we have an opening in a law firm, or we have an opening in the FBI, or we have an opening in a tech company, and we're really looking for a recent graduate. And they will send our faculty the job listing before it hits before it hits the newspaper, Indeed, any of those places, and they'll push that out to students. So almost on a weekly basis, you'll get an announcement from your faculty member about job openings. So our students are highly sought after. So just a little bit about our affordability and how students fund their tuition. So Tulane's SoPA's price point is $1,158 per credit hour, and all of our classes are 3 credit hours. What I like to tell students is that we have very few fees associated with that. We have about $48 of fees each semester associated with the tuition, and that's about it. The reason I mention that to students is that a lot of other schools end up attaching multiple different fees to each semester, and it can almost double your tuition rate. So I know that students are very savvy when they look at comparing tuition rates. Keep in mind, almost everything you pay is tuition with very nominal fees. So we like to let students know that. In addition to that, we do offer federal grants and loans. If you're interested in that, you will need to fill out the FAFSA form. That's the federal form for financial aid. I tell students to go ahead and start that process pretty early on because there's multiple steps and it can take a while to fill out the FAFSA forms. We are a military-friendly school. We're proudly a yellow ribbon school. And many of our active duty and military veterans can use their GI benefits to pay for our school. We also offer a 20% discount for active duty and military veterans, active and retired safety personnel, firefighters, policemen, first responders. If any of you all have a bachelor's degree from a minority serving institution, an HBCU, or a Hispanic serving institution, we also offer a 20% discount. And if you are a member of Phi Theta Kappa, which is the honor society for community college students, we also offer a 20% discount for our graduate programs. Once again, we do offer the credit for life experience, which, if applicable to you, is also a way to save time and money towards tuition. So some information about our application program. We have a very straightforward admissions process, although there are often questions along the way, and we hope that you will reach out and email me, please, if you have any questions. I like to answer questions and work with students. Our application lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. There's a big button at the top that says apply. You just click it and it opens you into the application portal. When you apply, you will need to pick the graduate application, unless you're applying for one of our post-baccalaureate certificates. Those live on the undergraduate application. Our application does have a $50 fee, but we are taking attendance at this webinar. And as a thank you to you for being here in the evening on a Wednesday night, we will waive that fee automatically. If for some reason it doesn't get waived, email me and I can waive it for you, but it should automatically get waived. We will need you to upload a picture of a current government ID. For most folks, that's just taking a picture with your phone of your driver's license or passport, and you upload that image. And then we will need transcripts from any school from which you've received college credits. We do not require the GRE for entrance to any of our graduate programs. So generally that is very welcome news to students. But for many of our graduate applications, there will be written portions. There may be a personal statement and some short answers that we will need you to answer. Please take your time and be thoughtful on the written portion. It is very important to our faculty that you provide thoughtful, well-written answers to their questions. You also may be asked on some of the applications to upload a resume. That are interesting for you to know. We just reached our summer deadline, which is May 1. The next term that we are enrolling for is fall. That's an August 1 application deadline. And then for spring, which is our January term, we have a January 1 deadline. You will notice that we have early enrollment scholarship deadlines. Our application process is rolling. So just because we say August 1 is our deadline, you can apply now. You don't have to wait until the deadline. We encourage students to complete their application, get it into us, let us get you an admissions decision. And if you register for classes by the early registration deadline, you will receive a $500 scholarship for your first semester of tuition. So that's just an easy way to save. It also encourages you to plan early, get registered for classes, have time to meet with your advisor, and set you up for success for your first semester. So we encourage students to go ahead and do that. All right, so that's sort of the nuts and bolts of our webinar. We are happy if anybody has any questions. If you want to drop it in the chat, or if you want to take yourself off of mute, you can ask a question. If you don't have a question right now, or if you don't want to ask it in front of a group, that is fine also. My contact information is on the screen in front of you. sgold@tulane.edu is my email address, and I'm happy to answer emails. Any questions?
Sheila, I am
Hi,
Lenny
good evening.
Velasquez. Hi, I am from Peru. I went to be study in your university. But in this case, my question is, did you accept Duolingo test for proficiency English?
So we don't necessarily need that. What we will need is for international applicants, which is what you would be considered. Well, let me ask you, your transcript is from Peru, correct?
Right. But
Okay.
in this moment, my transcript is in ECE. I have my transcript in this platform.
Okay, so we will need you to go through an international transcript service where what they do is evaluate the transcripts, and they let us know the equivalency to US transcripts.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what we do. We usually encourage students to use WES, WES, the World Education Service.
Right.
There are other organizations out there, but WES is generally the one we encourage students to send us their application through.
Perfect.
All right, it'd be great. So no problem.
In this case, I want to apply. In this case, for example, I have my transcript in ECE, but well, I think that I can apply to your master without problems.
Yes, no problem.
That? Okay.
That's right. That's
Thank you.
So Valerie, how can we sign? So you will get when you registered for this webinar, you put in what program you were interested in. We
Perfect.
asked that in the registration information, and that will get you some emails that are program specific and should also get you invited to our program specific webinars. And do you want to?
Yes, and our summer schedule for program specific webinars, they'll be starting the week of June 20th. Yes, the week of June 20th. So you will check your emails. You will all be receiving, various invitations to webinars.
More
Valerie,
to-
yes,
Thank you.
I will make a note of that.
All right, Valerie wants to change hers to Homeland Security.
Yes, I will do
Okay.
that.
All right, great. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? So like Suri said at the beginning of the webinar, you'll be getting an email from me tomorrow just thanking you for attending, and there will be a recording of this webinar attached to the email, but also my contact information is on that as well, so you don't feel like you have to write it down or anything. But please feel free to email me if you have any questions, and I certainly hope that not only will I hear from you, but see your application very soon. Thank you so much. If there's no other questions, we certainly wish everybody a great evening, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thanks, everyone. Good night.